Make sure it's not saturated with gasoline. If it is, I suggest you do not drive it until you get it fixed. That gas will dilute and it'll ruin the motor. Tony Caruso and the Pool Fanatic is going to come up next, but if you need help with your car right now or during the week, call the Magic Mechanic at 407-629-2661. We're still answering the phone, or for a free estimate, visit us at magicmechanic.com. Magic Mechanic services all Japanese, European, domestic, and hybrid vehicles, and we also specialize in mechanical restoration for classics and antiques as well. Don't forget the seat belts, and we'll see you back here on the Magic Mechanic Show next Saturday at 3 p.m. and only on AM 580 WDBO.
The station Central Florida turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. News Talk AM 580 WDBO Orlando, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. The economy in focus as President Obama prepares for his State of the Union address in the coming week. The president warmed up in his weekly address, saying one of the most important things he can do to create jobs and help U.S. businesses is to open up more markets around the world to U.S. goods. He continued in a Democratic National Committee video that's being emailed to supporters saying there's a lot more work to do on the economy.
We're going to have to out-innovate. We're going to have to out-build. We're going to have to out-compete. We're going to have to out-educate other countries.
ABC's Taman Bradley has more.
President Obama says Tuesday night he'll explain how the economy has improved since he took office, but that he realizes American families may not yet feel it.
We've made progress, but as all of you know, from talking to friends and neighbors, seeing what's happening in your communities, we've still got a lot more work to do.
All week, the president plans to take his message directly to the American people.
ABC's Taman Bradley in Washington. 38 years ago today, the Supreme Court issued the ruling legalizing abortion across the country. The president marked the anniversary by calling the procedure a right he is committed to protecting. On Monday, abortion rights opponents participated in an annual March for Life rally in Washington. In New Hampshire, a Republican Party committee held its first ever 2012 presidential straw poll, 276 valid ballots. Mitt Romney, the big winner, with 35%. With 11%, Texas Congressman Ron Paul was Romney's closest competitor. Doctors at a rehabilitation hospital in Houston are promising to keep Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords busy as she recovers from being shot through the head.
For now, Gabby Giffords will remain in the intensive care unit, and doctors will decide early next week when they will move her to a nearby facility that specializes in treating patients with brain injuries. Doctors tell us she could be there for the next 4 to 6 months.
ABC's Clayton Sandell in Houston. And you're listening to ABC News.
Now, a WDBO News update from Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
NASA officials say repairs on the Space Shuttle Discovery's fuel tank are almost complete. Crews have been working to fix the cracks found on the tank back in November and strengthen the beams that surround it. Discovery is scheduled to launch for the last time on February 24th. The Endeavour is set to blast off in April, and NASA says it hopes to send its final shuttle, the Atlantis, to the International Space Station in June. A stretch of State Road 528 in Brevard County will be closed for days after a tanker crashed and caught fire yesterday, killing 2 people. DOT officials are meeting with contractors today to get the repairs rolling, but they've already said it could be 35 days before the road is back open. Brevard County Fire Rescue responded to the scene at State Road 528 and North Courtney Parkway, where the tanker truck caught fire after a pickup truck crashed into it. The pickup drove off the bridge after crashing into that tanker and also went up in flames. The victims' names have not been released. The city of Winter Park now has red light cameras to catch red light runners. The city's police department installed the traffic cameras this week at 2 intersections, and they're expected to go live this weekend. About 30 cities in Florida are now using them, including Orlando. Orange County has installed 10 cameras at its most dangerous intersections. Those are expected to go online at the end of February. Governor Rick Scott says the key to helping the housing market is to create more jobs. He told supporters yesterday in Orlando that he's trying to get companies to move to Florida to help bring new jobs to the state. Former presidential candidate John McCain will be in Florida next week. The Arizona senator will visit the Panhandle to attend a ceremony for his son, who's in the Navy. McCain's son is one of the 16 graduates who will receive their Rings of Gold for helicopter training. For more on these stories and the important local news of the day, watch Channel 9 Eyewitness News tonight at 6. WDBO News Time 5:04. Traffic and weather are next.
First thing Monday morning when you wake up, Get team coverage of the day's top local stories. News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it.
Straightforward pricing. 2-year guarantee on all repairs. Does your plumbing service offer that? Hi, this is Bill Heichel, owner of Benjamin Franklin Plumbing here in Orlando. These 2 service promises are the cornerstones of our business. Our plumbing professionals will do the job right the first time, and we will be on time guaranteed. If we aren't on time, we'll pay you. I encourage you to give us a call for your next plumbing project. From a tiny leak to a whole house repipe and everything in between, our virtual warehouse on wheels truck will have the parts and supplies you need. Heck, the only thing we don't carry is the kitchen sink. Call us at 407-905-0014, toll free at 866-867-5309, or online at benfranklinplumbingfl.com.
CFC 056690.
Good afternoon, it's 5:05 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, and it's time to check in with the 24-hour WDBO Safe Touch Security Traffic Network. Here's Paul Barnett.
I-4 is moving well in both east and westbound directions. In Brevard County, State Road 528 at Courtney Parkway remains closed for emergency bridge repair. Follow the detours there. And we have report of an accident on Tuscaloosa Road at Aloma. This report's brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue. Sonny's all-you-can-eat barbecue chicken is back. It comes with 2 sidekicks and garlic bread or cornbread, all for only $8.99. Sonny's, the first name in barbecue. On the station with traffic every 6 minutes in the morning, I'm Paul Barnett.
A cold night in store for Central Florida. Not as windy overnight, but that's going to let temperatures plummet into the mid-30s in Orlando. We'll see some areas in the upper 20s to low 30s, though, outside of town. For the afternoon tomorrow, mostly sunny, less wind, a little bit warmer, a high in the low 60s. From Severe Weather Center 9 in WDBO, I'm meteorologist Brian Monahan.
And the latest scan of the WDBO weather radar shows no rain across Central Florida. It's 53 in Union Park and 52 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station depend on it.
The following hour was paid for by the host and does not reflect the opinion of AM 580 WDBO. The Pool Fanatics are on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Brought to you each week by your host, Tony Caruso, and his company, TC Water Features. If you have questions about pool maintenance or have been thinking about adding a pool, spa area, or waterfall, you need to call now at 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. Now, the Pool Fanatics.
All right, we're all sitting around in the studio right now. It's kind of like one of those big meetings, and, you know, Nick stands up and he says, "Hi, my name is Nick, and I am a pool fanatic." I admit it, you know, and we have a 12-step program for that. It's build a pool.
There you go.
Maybe put 3 steps in it.
One shovel at a time, Rob. Think about that. One shovel at a time.
But we're all pool fanatics, aren't we?
That's it, man. I'll tell you.
What was the first thing kids wanted to do when their parents said, "Hey, we're going on vacation"? You get in the car, and you get 10 miles out of town, and you go, "Are we there yet? Can we stop at a place with a
swimming pool?"
And almost every kid that blows out the candle on a birthday cake, and all of you know I'm right, when you were a little kid, what was one of the things you wished for? A pony and a pool in the backyard. Everybody wanted a pool in the backyard, didn't they?
Yeah, they do. And guess what? Most people have a pool in their backyard.
That's right. How many pools in Florida there, Tony Caruso?
Well, there's 18.9 million people in Florida, give or take a few 100,000, give or take. About 1.2 million. Think about that, Rob.
Wow.
If there was one for, you know, every 17 people, we try to rule out condos and condominiums and how many people have homes,
Sure.
and it's about 1 in 4.5 people, married people, that have a swimming pool.
All right, folks, now this is Pool Fanatics. We're taking your calls right now on News Talk AM 580 WDBO at 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. And whole hour dedicated each and every week to you getting the most out of your backyard, out of your water features, out of your beautiful spa or your hot tub. And don't forget, you can even call us with a quote that you've got. Don't name the company. But you can say, "Hey, this is a quote I've got. What am I looking at?" And if it's a good deal, Tony's going to say, "Ride with it, baby." If it's a deal you want to ask some questions, he's going to tell you how to ask the questions. All right. Now, we have a new sponsor today. Who is this?
A1 Block Corporation.
What do they do?
They supply me with building supplies, i.e. concrete, block, masonry, cement, stack walls. We do landscape walls, too, where the block is already finished on both sides. They're heavy little guys. They 50 to 100 pound pieces, So we buy a lot of our products and they supply. They have, by the way, the best concrete block in the industry today.
I guess there's a lot more that goes into a backyard than just digging a square hole and putting in a pool and putting a deck around it, because I've noticed a lot of the pool applications, you have to build retaining walls or landscape walls, but you want them to make them look natural and pretty.
Pretty's pretty. Yeah, what's really neat, you would think pool builders don't need to buy concrete block and things of that nature. Dura-Wall, which is the material that goes between the block as you build the wall. Now, not only do we build retaining walls to hold the pool from going away the other way, we build retaining walls to keep the dirt from coming into the pool, too. We have just completed one in Winter Park. It's probably about 105 feet long. It's really cool, but it's holding the upper soil from coming down into the pool. The yard was very sloped, so we had to create a way to either elevate the pool or set it down and create drainage another way. Nice little pool that we've done up in Winter Park.
Okay, very good. Now, one of the things that Tony brings to the marketplace is he not only is a premier pool builder in Florida and also TC Water Features, man, you talk about some beautiful things around here that we've all seen. We just never said, who built that? Who was the company that did that? Cool stuff like at Disney and places like that. And, chances are these guys had a hand in it. Now, but you're also in Tallahassee working on our behalf. New energy codes. What are we talking about here?
Oh, my. We've kind of talked about this, and I don't want to, we need to continue to talk about this all the way through, because December 31st of this year, the new law goes in effect, and it is not negotiable. Okay, we've talked about any pool pump, 1 horsepower or greater, will be 2-speed. Not shall be, will be. It will be 2-speed. So if it's a 1 horse or greater, it will be 2-speed. So which means if you have a 3/4 horsepower pump, it doesn't need to be a 2-speed. Now, if it's a 1 horse, 2-speed, the low speed must default less than half the whole horsepower. For instance, if it's a 1 horse, it must be less than a half horsepower in total horsepower. Okay, so if you look at the energy used in a 1 horse, about 9.6 amps. In low speed, it pulls about 4.4. Huge energy savings.
Yeah.
So remember, we don't need that big old pump now. Now, that's one. Now, that doesn't mean that your waterfall pump, spa jet pump has to be 2-speed. So it's just primary filter pump. Now, of course, there's some people up above me, and I mean way above me, think it's every pump. Well, why would I want a 2-speed waterfall pump? That makes no sense. I would want the ability to do that, but I don't be forced to do that. Okay. You also have to have a 2-speed time clock. Right now you have a single speed. It just comes on and goes off. The new time clocks have to be 2-speed, and they must have the ability to default the time. There was a proposal on the table which got shot down that said that your high speed could only be for 2 hours a day, 120 minutes, which means it had to default to low speed the rest of the time. Our contention was you cannot run solar during the winter when you want to in low speed, because low speed is really not going to push the water up. And in high speed, you'd have more pumping need if you try to overcome that anyway. So the override of the 2 hours is gone. You can run solar 24 hours a day if you need to be. So you still have the option to run in high speed, but you must default to low speed. So those two-speed time clocks are out there. This is really cool. This is really going to get a lot of pool builders, and I mean scratching their head, because part of this energy code is that if you've now sized your pump. If you have a 17,000-gallon pool, the maximum amount of time that you can circulate that pool one time is 360 minutes or 6 hours. But the minimum flow for that pump is 36 gallons. That's the minimum you can flow any water in any pool in the state of Florida, according to our energy code. Okay, that being said, your filters are now coming into play. This is where you're going to scratch your head. It says that the square footage per cartridge filter is 0.375 gallons per square foot. It's confusing, Rob. Big time confusing, and much so for the homeowners. Sand is 1.5 gallons per square foot, and DE is 2.0 gallons per square foot, which means that if I was going to install a 175 square foot filter on a pool that I needed 70 gallons a minute for, I now have to double my filter area space. Which means I got to put more filter in. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So this is something that we're going to relook at. Plumbing-wise, another thing that's really important here on plumbing, I don't want to bore everybody to death, but plumbing-wise is before, the solar guy was always mad when he came back out and had to cut a solar system, and we left him no room in the plumbing lines. Now we have to leave him 18 inches of clear space so he can cut into it and put his to and from solar lines in, which means that he's really not going to be hacking my plumbing apart, which he never really had to in the past. We've always left plenty of room for additional features, but we want to do those. We don't want someone going in and cutting my plumbing apart or piping apart on a new pool. That's not good.
Yeah.
And you want me to warrant that. So, in which we do, but that's just another way of getting more business for us, only because we warrant the product. Of course, now with our friends at Superior Solar, we warrant our panels for a lifetime. We replace them. We don't repair them. We replace them.
All right.
So,
now, let's remind you of phone numbers if you have questions about anything we covered so far. I know it sounds highly technical, but if you have a pool, these are things you need to be thinking about. 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. And you've got a note down here, new for 2011. What's coming up?
Wow, you're going to see it. I'm not going to disclose a whole lot right now, but you're going to see some fascinating things coming out. Remember we talked about Aqua Connect? It was a system that I could put into your control panel through your computer that you want to sign, or even yourself, real-time pool information at your computer.
Now, when you say pool information, what all are we talking about?
All your pool controls, your functions on and off, your lighting functions on and off, your operating your color lighting if you wanted to, pump speeds, chlorine generation if you're doing chlorine generation, pH injection, all that is real-time information. And you can I can sit at my desk and adjust all that. So I can sit here, Rob, if you made me your primary or your secondary, I, from my office, can control your swimming pool.
Can you take a reading?
I can get real-time readings from it. If we're doing systems that monitor chemistry, for instance, I get real-time readings. Rob, your salt in your pool's low. I send you a little email. Would you mind stopping by the local pool supply store and picking up some salt? What do you think? You need to get 40 pounds, put it in the pool. While you're doing it, brush the pool, brush it in, and you're done. Think about that.
Wow.
You know, the day
so no more guessing. It's all right there.
Oh, it's right there. No, Rob, don't bring the loaf of bread home. Go get a bag of salt, put it in the pool. Hey. We got to get it ready for the entertainment time, so get the pool right. So it's really cool stuff.
All right, Tom in Winter Haven calling into the Pool Fanatics. Tom is now officially a Pool Fanatic. And Tom in Winter Haven, what is your question?
Do you have any skin conditions? No, nothing other than when you're sitting in a spa. All right. How accurately are you maintaining the pH in your spa? Because here's what happens. When you first off, chlorine is the worst thing you want to use in a heated spa, because that chlorine count is going to escalate the higher the temperature gets. Okay, so you don't ever want to use chlorine in a heated spa. And I'm assuming you cover this spa. The spa has a top on it. Yeah, you keep it hot, so it's okay. Are you inviting 20 of your favorite friends to sit in that hot tub with you? I hope you're not. Yeah. I would. I'd really stay really close on the pH value. If you're using bromines very stable. Chlorine's not very stable, especially at 100 degrees. The effectiveness of chlorine at 100 degrees is probably about 30%. Not good. Bromine's about 92% at that temperature range. So what I would do, honestly, is I would try to find out what is my pH in my spa and find the neutral part for you. That's what it really sounds like, and hopefully that's going to solve your problem.
Now, let me ask you this. Last week, you gave some great advice on people, because a lot of people never change their water in their spa and don't know how to keep their spa. They just get it. They fill it up. They enjoy the hot water. They stay too long in it. They drink too much in it. But let's give us the guidelines once again on a spa.
Well, I like to, and I have a Spa Crest spa, which is self-contained. It stays heated all the time. Mine's at 104 degrees, but this is rule of thumb. A spa is basically, and I hate to say this, it's really true. It's an overgrown bathtub.
Yeah.
It's filtered, it's sanitized, it's heated, it stays contained. You got the top on it. And by the way, that makes spa sense to kind of kick some of that smell away, because when you start heating that up with bromine in there, it kind of gets a little bit gassy in there. So you just lift the top off for a couple minutes, it'll go away. Or you can put some spa scents in there, but 2 months max. No one that I know of bathes before they go in there. We got fabric softeners, cream rinses, moisturizers, all the stuff that we do. Gels in the spa. That's that floaty stuff that floats in the spa when you're in there and enjoying it. 2 months. Drain it and clean it. Start over. It's really, I mean, you're looking 600 gallons. It might take a day to reheat, but I would rule of thumb, no doubt in my mind. Also go back, Tom, and look, if you happen to have any of those pillows in there, those little cushy pillows, look and see if they're clean too, because if you drain and clean it and you don't go through everything, you reintroduce some items back into the water you really don't want to.
And what do you clean the sides with, the actual siding material?
The inside or the outside?
Inside.
The inside. I take, believe it or not, Rob, I take a little bit of diluted, I hate to say this, now we're going back to chlorine, but liquid chlorine on a rag or sponge, dry, and basically just wipe it down. I'm disinfecting it. Because now what I'm going to do when I refill it, I have a very, very little residual in there.
Yeah.
At least to kind of get me a little bit of sanitizer going as I'm filling it. It'll dissipate off. Remember, liquid chlorine is here today, gone tomorrow. It's here today and it's gone. So don't have to worry about it hanging around, but and which will give you time to heat it up before you get that chlorine smell. So just consider doing that.
And time in the hot tub. I mean, they
20 minutes, you know, and I'm really, it's just real, and I hate this, and I got high blood pressure, I'm under medicine, so I'm not sure if I'm really a person with high blood pressure, and I'm very active, Rob. I think you know that I'm active, but 104 degrees is the maximum allowable by state, okay? 98 degrees is your body temperature. You can get hypothermia above that, so you know, you really want to stay out of that. And remember, we talked about have a drink. Alcoholic beverage or not, if you have one alcoholic drink in a hot tub at 104, it's really like 2 drinks. Why? Is because you're getting ultra relaxed. That's a safety feature. You want to make sure that you don't sit in your spa alone, especially if you're going to drink. I'm being honest with you. I mean, it's really a safety issue, and I want you to have all the fun in the world in your new spa or your existing spa. Just don't get hammered in there, because it can really be it can be devastating.
All right, very good. Now we'll take more of your calls coming up at 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. All this and more coming up right here on Pool Fanatics on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Impress your friends at the big game in February by barbecuing on a Big Wolf Grill from Aggressive Appliances. I mean, big. The value is $5,000. I can smell the ribs now. How do I get my barbecue mitts on that Wolf Grill? WDBO has 2 ways to enter, and both are easy. Log on to WDBO.com, keyword grill, or text the word grill to 20899. That's grill to 20899. And call me when it's time to eat.
Hey friends, Sean Hannity here to offer some advice for all of you out there looking to spice up your kitchen. Now the place to go for the finest in kitchen appliances is Milkarski's Appliance Center in Longwood. Now whether it's a built-in refrigerator or stove, the Milkarski folks have been surpassing expectations. Milkarski's features the best in built-in kitchen appliances. Proud sponsor of our Freedom Concert, Milkarski's Appliance Center in Longwood.
Thanks, Sean. This is Dan Nantis, owner of Milkarski's Appliance Center. There's absolutely no better time than right now to visit us during our 25th anniversary event, where we are featuring top-quality Thermador appliances like their Freedom Collection. Plus, ask how you can earn free Thermador appliances. Stop into our fabulous showroom featuring live kitchens today and experience the Milkarski's difference. Find us at milkarski.com. That's MILCARSKY.com. Thermador, the quality choice from Milkarski's, your premier appliance store.
It's simply the best checking account in Central Florida. Centennial Bank's Star Rate Checking, offering you the yield of a CD and the convenience of a checking account. There's also free nationwide ATMs, online banking and bill pay, a MasterCard debit card, and 24-hour telephone banking. Learn more at one of their 6 convenient offices. Go to my100bank.com or call 888-372-9788. Star Rate Checking from Centennial Bank. Member FDIC. Some restrictions apply to free nationwide ATMs. See bank for details. Would you drink your pool water? Crazy, but the answer could be yes if you have the patented amazing ionization system from Clearwater Technologies in your home or community pool. Pools that use the Clearwater ionization system sparkle with a water quality that exceeds EPA standards for drinking water. There's no need for chlorine in your pool ever again. No more allergic reactions, no harmful chemicals that can be absorbed into the skin. And best of all, more money in your pocket. And if you log on now, you can get free installation. Of course, estimates are also free. Log on to poolschlorinefree.com and find out how your pool can become a mineral bath with copper and silver ions naturally. Call 407-324-3691. That's 407-324-3691 or poolschlorinefree.com. 407-324-3691 and kiss chlorine goodbye forever.
Homeowners, if you like saving money, listen up. Florida Insurance Specialists just saved a Bankers Insurance customer $5,098 by switching them to Gulfstream Insurance. Call them at 407-805-0200 or visit challengemyrate.com to get your savings now. Their amazing new technology shops insurance rates with over 30 A-rated companies, so you can start saving almost immediately. With State Farm and Allstate raising home insurance rates up to 40%, now is the time to challenge your rate. Call them at 407-805-0200 or visit challengemyrate.com. Don't limit your ability to save by using a name brand company with only one option. Florida Insurance Specialist is an independent broker who represents 99.9% of home insurance companies in Florida. Go to challengemyrate.com now to save. That's challengemyrate.com. Don't buy or renew your home insurance until you take the challenge. Visit challengemyrate.com to save money now.
Number one for breaking news anytime, anywhere. News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
All right, we are back, and it is Tony Caruso, the Pool Fanatic, and this is, of course, Pool Fanatics featuring Tony Caruso. Orlando Luxury Pools by TC Water Features. That's the company we're talking about. And we're taking your calls right now at 407-290-0058, 800-329-5858. Tony Caruso may be a new name on the radio, but this ain't his first rodeo when it comes to pools. You've been doing this how long, man?
Oh, over 29 years.
Lord have mercy.
Yes, just because I look young doesn't mean that I am young. I just take care of myself. Right?
Now, you've been building pools for 28 years, but you've also been refurbishing?
Renovating for 20
Renovating?
Yeah, as long as I've been building. I tell you what, I started plumbing commercial pools, 81. Renovating not much after. You know, it's really different. If you building is one thing. You know how to build them. Now you know how to take them. Now you need how to take them apart. That's a whole different deal.
Probably a lot of people have never thought about taking a pool apart.
Yeah. Well, you know, back in the day, back when they built pools, 25, 30, 40, 50 years ago, technology's changed big time. I went to a concrete block pool the other day. 1955 to about 1968.
It was actually built out of concrete block.
They poured the floor. They put rebar in the uprights where the walls were going to be, blocked the walls, poured them solid. Those pools, they're block pools because they have 6 or 7 steps going in, or 5 to 7 steps going into them. All these little short corner wedding cake steps.
Yeah.
Big time. I've seen people use car lights for a pool light. Yeah. Amazing. But the block wall pools are square. They're rectangle. I'm sorry. They're rectangle shaped pools.
I would think.
Yeah, they're very they're very outdated. There's not we can renovate those, by the way. We can make those look just like new pools. The only drawback is they have curbs around them.
Mm-hmm. So when you say renovate a pool, and that's a question that Nick, our producer, asked, what is the difference between renovating and building a pool?
Big time difference. The technology, the mentality of the person doing it, the knowledge of what you're doing. We've started 6 renovations last week. 6. Remember, I'm a family business. I only have so many brothers and children. So we've got 2 huge ones. I'm going to do a 2,000 square foot renovation next week.
Wow. Nick, we also had an email question. You want to pull your microphone up and give us that email question we've got, sir?
Yeah, the question is, I have a concrete pool deck, and I would like to paint it. Is it better to use concrete stain or paint? And they have also heard the words acrylic and epoxy being thrown around. Which should this person use? Thank you, Wilma.
Not even an option, acrylic. 100% acrylic. Mm-hmm. Go see my good people that I've used for years. And I mean, 25 years I've used Porter Paint, which is, I think Pittsburgh Paint bought them out. But there's a Porter Paint on Summerlin in 50. Mm-hmm. But you want to buy their acrylic sealer, 100% acrylic. And here's why. You can clean it. And it's flexible.
Ooh.
Can you imagine painting a tin can with acrylic paint, twisting the can and the paint still stick?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now you do epoxy. Now you're doing a multi-stage process. Acrylic is water-based. I want to clean my mess up, rinse it out with water. I use an epoxy base. It's usually a 1 or 2 part or maybe a 3-part catalyst to activate it. Now you're throwing all that away. Don't get it on you. Don't get it on your house. Don't get it in your pool. Acrylic, if you got acrylic paint, which is water-based paint, it's good stuff. Now, great question, by the way, Nick. So when you're done doing an acrylic deck, you pressure wash it, clean it, and you paint it, usually 2 coats. Clean it up with what if you make a mess? Now, here's what's really cool. If it's dirty, you can clean it. If it's dirty, you can clean it.
Yeah.
Think of what gets on my deck for dirt. Organic dirt, all the dirty stuff, so we clean it up with a chlorine-based product.
So a concrete stain, you couldn't do that.
Well,
that's what you use on driveways, and you see they get stained.
Concrete stain's penetrating.
Mm-hmm.
It's going into the product. Acrylic lays on the surface.
Yeah.
Now, if you do a penetrating stain, you're going to have to restain it that color or consistently throughout the years, and you should get a good 5 to 10 years out of acrylic and every bit of that out of a stain, no doubt about it. But you're limited on who's going to do that unless you want to do some experimenting. Acid stains are very, very non-forgiving, by the way.
All right. What about those of you that are buying a home and it's at a pool sitting out there for months with no maintenance at all, or those of you that continue to practice the old practice of just turning off your pool in November and saying, we'll worry about it in April? Oh, my God. Tony's going to talk about that when we come back. Plus, a lot more. Glass beads for a finish? What? I don't know what he's talking about. We'll be back. Pool Fanatics on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
The station Central Florida turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Orlando, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
A sneak preview of Tuesday's State of the Union address has been sent in a video to the from the Democratic National Committee to supporters, and in it, President Obama says the focus will be on how to keep America competitive in the global market.
We're going to have to out-innovate. We're going to have to out-build. We're going to have to out-compete. We're going to have to out-educate other countries.
Also in the video, the president talks about cutting the deficit and shrinking the size of government. A political snapshot looking toward the 2012 presidential campaign. Mitt Romney comes out on top in the first straw poll ever by the New Hampshire Republican Party committee. 35% for Romney. Texas Congressman Ron Paul is second with 11%. Six-party Iran nuclear talks in Turkey have collapsed with no agreement. Forecasters say the East Coast could be in for another huge winter storm, rivaling the Christmas weekend blizzard, maybe. Depends on what happens to disturbances coming out of the Rockies and Plains that could roll up the coast Tuesday and Wednesday. It depends on the track. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
The mouth of the South is a mouth of conservatism.
You are being manipulated by Democrats and Barack Obama.
Neil Bortz. Weekdays 9 to 1 on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Turn right in 0.7 miles. Your local Geico office is in 1.8 miles.
Wait, what did you just say?
Your local Geico office is in 1.8 miles. Let's stop by for a free rate quote.
I can't go to Geico. I have a blind date.
Stand him up, girlfriend. Let's go save some money on your car insurance.
He looked really cute online.
His online photo? That was taken like 20 years ago.
Really?
He's wearing a leisure suit.
But
a polyester leisure suit.
Saving money is a lot closer than you think. Your local Geico agent can help you with all your insurance needs. Stop by or call for a free rate quote today.
Your local Geico office can help you insure more than just your car. They can help you with motorcycle, boat, renters, and other insurance products. For a free rate quote, call 407-897-7157 today. That's 407-897-7157, or visit your local Geico office at 5005 East Colonial Drive in Orlando.
Good afternoon. It's 5:32 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, and it's time to check in with the 24-hour WDBO Safe Touch Security Traffic Network. Here's Paul Barnett.
I-4 is up to speed in both east and westbound directions. In Brevard County, State Road 528 at Courtney Parkway remains closed for emergency bridge repair. Follow the detours there. And there is an accident with lane blockage on Tuscaloosa Road at Aloma. FHP's on scene. This report's brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue. Sonny's all-you-can-eat barbecue chicken is back. It comes with 2 sidekicks and garlic bread or cornbread, all for $8.99. Sonny's, the first name in barbecue. On the station with traffic every 6 minutes in the morning, I'm Paul Barnett.
A cold night in store for Central Florida. Not as windy overnight, but temperatures are going to drop down into the mid-30s in town. Some outlying areas will drop down below freezing overnight, so we do have a freeze in the forecast for some of us. A little warmer tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny, and a high in the low 60s. From Severe Weather Center 9 and WDBO, I'm meteorologist Brian Monahan.
And the latest scan of the WDBO weather radar shows no rain across Central Florida. We're down to 52 at the UCF campus and 51 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station depend on it.
When it matters most, remember News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
This is Scott Inez. The Magic head to Houston to take on the Rockets tonight. I'll have a preview on WDBO Coors Light Inside Magic, live from NBA City, beginning at 7 on the home of the Magic, WDBO.
All right, welcome back. It is the Pool Fanatics right here, featuring Tony Caruso, the owner and operator, family-operated business for all of these years, and that is Orlando Luxury Pools by TC Water Features. And let's talk about websites, phone numbers, and all that.
Websites, OrlandoLuxuryPools.com. You can reach us at 407-282-4911. Robbie, remember one thing? Amazing things can happen in your backyard. And
Amen.
also your front yard.
And that could happen there, too.
There you know. Think about that.
All
hey,
right.
Real quickly, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I go down and I permit. I've been building fountains in front of homes for many, many years. I go out and I try to get a permit to put a fountain in a front of a house. And I've been doing this for years now. And they said, nope, can't put a fountain in front of the house. So what do you mean? You can't put a fountain in front of the house. This is one of our local jurisdictions here. I said, look, I've been doing it for years. These fountains make a statement for people. They love fountains. And he goes, nope, can't do it. I said, look. So I went back and I took my permits back, the ones that I had previously permitted. And I read them. Sure enough, it says they permitted under a boat dock fountain or boat dock pool. So I get a permit. Now I emailed them back and I said, nope, you can't put a fountain in the front yard anymore. So I emailed them back. I said, you know what? This is wrong. This is totally wrong. I know where 2 fountains just got built in the front yard in the same county what I'm here for. They went back and did some more research. They just reclassified a fountain in the front yard as an architectural structure, landscape structure. So my comment was, if you go down to your local statutory place and you buy a little 3-tier and you put a pad down, put a fountain on it, that's not legal. I guess it is now. I raised enough issues that, someone now looked at this and said, okay, now you're right. You can do this. So we're back in business putting fountains in front yards again. Permitted, legally done right. Think about that.
Don't get me started on cities and counties and people telling us what we can and can't do. I think they're just getting way out of control on that line. All right, here we go. That's Rob Newton speaking, not Tony, okay? Don't take it out on him. All right, what about people who consistently don't listen to Tony Caruso? They're not pool fanatics, and they just say, first of all, the people that just say, I turn the thing off in Thanksgiving, and I turn the thing on Easter, and I'm going to worry about cleaning it up then.
Okay.
What in the world are they doing?
Well, they're not helping their family and health out or anybody around. That's number one. Number two is you're going to have the worst case of black algae you ever want to deal with, and you don't, by the way, want black algae.
Mm-hmm.
It is the absolute hardest, besides pink, to get out of your pool. Now, let it neglect. Save the money. Remember the guy that wanted to drain his pool a couple weeks ago to save the money because the winter was here? Yeah, okay, not a good idea. Going to spend all kinds of money he's going to spend. Same with black algae. You could spend months, and I mean months, getting rid of black algae. I still see it in pools today from last year. It's a health hazard. It is. Black algae under a microscope is actually blue-green. It's blue-green.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way you can conceivably get it to go away is to remove the membrane on the top. The only way you're going to remove the membrane on the top is to push a stainless steel brush. You don't want to push a stainless steel brush in a pool. It is the hardest brush in the world to push. Now, it's one thing that's on a vertical wall. You kind of can do that, okay? Or kind of 2 or 3 feet out in front of you. But you push one that's 8 feet out in front of you. You got to prick the head off of it. You got to get the membrane to go away, or what you do is not going to work. Now, think about this. If you had 50,000 little black spots in your pool, and you got 49,990 of them out, you just left it in your pool, it's going to come right back.
Yeah.
Remember, when you treat your pool for this, you have to leave the brush or whatever you're using to remove that membrane in the pool while you're treating. If not, you're just going to reintroduce that spore back into the pool again. So listen to me. When you do this treatment, you must leave your tools in the pool.
Now, I was also going to ask you, if you turn off the pump and you turn off everything, number one, you're talking about the black algae. But number two, aren't you talking about letting seals dry up and everything else? Why not just let the thing run?
Well, not only that, Rob, you're going to deteriorate the finish of the pool. I love you for that. I mean, I don't want to redo your pool because you did something you shouldn't be doing. But the finish in the pool is going to deteriorate because the pH is going to go out of balance. You're going to allow algae to attach to your pool. Now, I've told you before, I've walked it's a comment, walked to pools before.
Yeah.
When you start taking the deepest net you can get, and then scooping this stuff out, and you can barely lift it out of the pool. Of course, you can't pump it out. You have to treat the water before you discharge it out of the pool. So you just can't dump this stuff out. You got to, and let me tell you something. You're putting people in the position that you shouldn't have to do. So just if you want to save the energy, put the right pump on your pool. That's going to seriously reduce your energy cost by 50% minimum.
Now, what about this question? Came up this week. I was at a guy's house. We're having a beer on his back patio.
Really?
And he doesn't heat his pool, so he said, I don't use it. But the depth of the water was much less than it is during the summer. It wasn't up to the skimmers and everything, you know what I mean? And I don't know anything about pools. I learn from you every week.
Okay.
But I said, I don't think that's really good for your pool to let it be down 3 feet or 4 feet all winter.
No.
Because I said, shouldn't the water be going through the skimmers? And he said, you don't know nothing. So I said, well, I don't know anything, but I'll ask.
Well, Rob, let's say you don't know anything, but you know enough to say that the water in the pool's too low. Okay.
Yeah.
When you expose the finish of your pool, you are deteriorating the finish of your pool. These finishers are made to be hydrated. They got to be underwater. You do not leave a pool finish exposed to the air. You don't do that. It's made to be wet. Notice when it's dry, it's one color. It's wet, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be hydrated. Now, you don't have to run the water through the skimmer, by the way. A lot of people don't do that because if they travel, they don't want the pool water level to go down. And, of course, the skimmer suck air, the pump overheats. Now, the new EcoStar has that auto prime function on it. If it don't prime in 3 minutes, it shuts off.
How cool is that?
Save the motor. Now, if you want to retro your pool for an autofill, we've been using the Leveler. It's a battery operated water fill. We've been using it for about 2 years now. They do a great job. If you're afraid that your water's going to go low, we'll put a sensor in your pool. It's battery operated. Battery lasts about a year. I'm not guaranteeing the battery to last a year because batteries are only as good as a battery, and light bulbs are only as good as a light bulb.
No.
Okay, but that's what it does. It'll keep your pool full.
What are the safety things? A lot of people want to build enclosures around pumps and, make it look exactly like the house. There's a place in Mount Dora I love because the little pump facility for the pool is an identical replica of the house.
Awesome.
Which I think is really cool.
Well,
but I'm wondering about ventilation. How do you keep chlorine? Where do you keep it, and how do you keep it safely?
Don't keep it outside.
You don't keep it.
No, you don't keep it outside. That's number one. Look, for all the people that have 3-inch pucks or 1-inch tabs around, pull the lid off, pull your head back before you remove the lid because it'll knock you out. Look, there's a rubber seal under there. There's also oxidizer packs inside that container. Do not let those tablets get wet, reseal the top, create energy or moisture inside, blow the top off.
Oh, yeah, you get an explosion.
Yeah, you don't want to go there. So you want to store your acid and your chlorine away from each other. The acid containers have a little plug in the top, so when you pull the cap off, put that little piece back on there. It stops it from dripping. And store them separately. Don't store them outside.
How toxic is that acid I see people running in and out of the pool store down on the corner. They're walking in and out of that stuff like they're carrying jugs of water. And I'm thinking, and then I watch some of these people pour it in their pool, and there's a little splash and a little residual. How toxic is that for skin and clothing and stuff?
Well, first off, if you breathe it, it'll absolutely take your breath away.
Dude.
It'll knock you down. And let me tell you another one you don't want to smell. You don't want to smell chlorine out of that container. Remember, pull the cap off?
Yeah, right.
Get a good little of that. Sorry, going to make me cough because I'll tell you what, it'll take your breath away. Don't get acid on you. It'll burn you. It'll burn your skin off of you. If you get acid in an open cut, first off, you're really, 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 really going to know it. You're not going to be happy. But I'm going to tell you something you're not going to be happy about. It's not going to heal like it normally would.
Really?
Yes, sir. You've just gone in there and ate the pH value of your skin out, with it. So don't get acid on you.
So more likely to scar then, too.
Yeah. Dilution is the solution, by the way. Dilute the acid in a bucket of water. Don't add the acid, the water to the bucket. Put the water in the bucket first. Put the acid in. Put it around your pool. Dilution is the solution, Rob. Everything, think about this. If you want to be moderate about things, dilute it. If you don't want the full value of that product on you, dilute it. Yellow bleach is the same way. Yellow chlorine is the same way. We call it bleach, not chlorine. We call it bleach. I don't get that on you either. If you get chlorine or chloride, and even your household on your skin, and go to rinse it off, notice your hands are real smooth. And you're just like, man, I can't get this off. And the smell won't go away either. So don't get chemicals on you. Do not get them on you. If you're really if you're not sure about the application, put gloves and put glasses on. You're really required to do that. That's part of being safe. But we're better than that, right? We don't do that.
Even my stepmother used to run a jewelry store in Kansas City, and she always talked about people are using chlorine cleansers in their house, and even stuff like 409. Keep that the heck away from your jewelry.
Rob,
that will undermine that gold in a heartbeat.
Rob, when I was in retail, I did retail for over 10 years, and I enjoyed it. Problem is, I talk too much. I would sit there and I'd fill your ears full of all kinds of good information, and not being productive of what I needed to be, but I made my customers happy. I didn't realize until EPA first came in my store that everything in the bottle is EPA controlled. Not only did they come to my store, I said, dude, how many pool supply stores? He goes, dude, every store is a pool supply. Winn-Dixie, Publix, Albertsons, I'm sorry, it was Eckert's back in the day. Now it's Walgreens, CVS. Yeah. All those people have chemicals in their stores, and they're all regulated by the EPA. So you have to have I had a mammoth book. It was about 5 inches thick that I took to the fire station right down by me. I think it's 83. Handed it to the fire chief and said, here you go, dude. This is MSDS sheets on everything in my store. What the product is, how it reacts to all the different elements, and how to clean them up. Now, this is a story that happens, very misfortunate, and it happened. At my store, they delivered a pallet of acid to my store. And on top of that store was 4 bags of baking soda. You know what neutralizes acid? Baking soda. So as they're bringing it off the back of the truck, 4 or 5 cases fell over and a couple bottles broke. Well, in addition to that, the bicar broke on top of that. So we had a spill and a containment immediately. That's cool. Immediately. It didn't hurt anything, but how often is that? So, the guys that carry chemicals around are only limited to 440 pounds of chemicals in their truck. After that, they have to register. You're still limited without placards on your vehicles. You know the placards, little triangle things?
Yeah, I always wondered.
You've got to run placards. I saw for the first time the other day, and I don't care for the guys that shoot liquid chlorine in the pools. Those are little tanks that hang out the back of a truck. There's about 8 of them on the back of a truck. Yeah. We call them gas shooters. I love you too, guys, because you eat the finishes up, so we're going to resurface pools. That gas, it's wonderful stuff, by the way. It's very dangerous. Time you smell liquid chlorine, you're dead.
Wow.
We're running around with placards. Now, those guys have to run placards. Yeah. But, they're the little tanks hanging out the back of the truck. They shoot chlorine gas once a week in your pool. Typically, very, very aggressive on the pH. Eat your finish up.
Not good. That brought up something else that came up this week. Somebody remembered our second show where you were talking about, a lot of people, they really need to learn from this show. That's why we're here. So they go ahead and they get that test kit from wherever they buy it from, and they go home and they think they're just Mr. Tester, and they test the pool water, they take the sample, and they take the sample down to the pool store.
Right.
Well, is that a good sample? Been in the car, been warm, you told all the things that could happen.
Terrible. You need to get a sample of water 18 inches below the water surface, away from a return, cap it, take it to the pool supply store. Generally, a pint's all you need. When I did mine, my water test back in the day cost me about $7 to do a test. I really did it right. I had lasers reading my chemistry because, men are colorblind. We think we think the color's right, but I had a laser read it. I could read pH down to 7.245. It's a little bit more technical than what you need. It's in the range, but you know what? That's how accurate I could be. So we would do some awesome water tests. So people would come in and say, it's been in the back of the car all day. Please go back, get me a fresh sample. Chlorine, the pH is going to be right, but the chlorine's going to be wrong. So let's get it right and to give you the right analysis. Because what I don't want to do is give you bad information.
Now, and do you choose any certain part of the pool?
I like to pick around the deep end, away from the return, and especially not when the pool pump first comes on.
All right. Very good. You're going to sneeze. I can see that
that's
right
why
now.
I didn't mean to pull away like that, Rob.
Sneezing on the air, not a good thing.
No.
Anyway, we're talking pools here, and we are taking your calls at 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. Now, for people heating their pools this time of year, when it does get cold, like it's going to tonight, things they need to think about.
Yeah. Up in your neck of the woods, they should really consider my comments about shutting the breaker off, pulling the lid off, turning it upside down, and walk away for a couple of days. You'll be down in the 20s a little bit tonight, I believe. We're going to be low 30s where we're at. So, where you're going to freeze, please consider that. There's nothing going to happen to your pool over the 24, 48 hours that you're not going to run it, except you're going to save a couple bucks. Think about that. $3 a day, $4 a day for you guys out there running horse and halves and 2 horse. Yeah.
So turn the lid upside down.
Yeah, turn it upside down. That way you're going to look inside the basket before you put it back on to restart the pump anyway. And don't forget to readjust your time clock. Don't forget to redo that. I mean, it's just going to happen. So, consider it. You're going to. I know the power company don't want to hear this, and I'm not picking on them. We're just trying to do a better job.
Are the time clocks, any of them have battery backup on them?
No.
So when you flip the breaker, you're stopping the time.
Yeah, you're
time
done.
Clock.
Yeah,
okay,
unless you're
cool.
if you're automated, just go to the service button. Hit service button, nothing comes on. Don't hit the timeout. Timeout's only good for 2 hours.
No, that ain't gonna do
Hit
it.
the service button, shut it off, and it won't come back on until you reactivate the button again.
Yeah, because we don't want it to happen what happened to my buddy up there where I live, and he's got his solar froze and the pipe's busted, and he's unhappy, and everybody's mad, and it hasn't been a pretty picture for the past 3 weeks at the guy's house.
Yeah, Rob, I bet in excess of 10,000 pools had busted lines this past, not the one before. Was down in the 20s. If you just listen, I know it's hard and everybody's busy, but real simple: kill the breaker, walk away from it, come back in a day or two. Nothing's going to grow in your pool.
Good job. 5:49. We're going to take a break. You got a question for our lightning round? Give us a call, 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. It is the Pool Fanatic right here, Tony Caruso, and he is only right here on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Make the first button on your car radio your news button. Set it to News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
Your parents can't quite manage on their own anymore, and you can't be there for them either. Call Senior Helpers. Hi, this is Dale Gardner. My wife Marion and I are the owners of Senior Helpers.
We provide seniors with assisted living at home, companionship, help with transportation, housekeeping, meal preparation, medication reminders, and more.
And now, Senior Helpers is licensed in many areas of Central Florida to help our clients with personal care needs such as bathing, dressing, toileting, and walking, especially those recently discharged from a hospital or rehab facility. And as always, Senior Helpers compassionate caregivers are carefully screened and have life experience helping others. Along with meeting seniors' needs, we enrich their lives in ways that make them look forward to our caregivers' visits.
For the peace of mind you want, call me personally, 407-628-4357.
Join us Saturday mornings at 6 for Living Well here on WDBO.
Y hablamos español.
License numbers 299-993681 and 230689. Would you drink your pool water? Crazy, but the answer could be yes if you have the patented amazing ionization system from Clearwater Technologies in your home or community pool. Pools that use the Clearwater ionization system sparkle with a water quality that exceeds EPA standards for drinking water. There's no need for chlorine in your pool ever again. No more allergic reactions, no harmful chemicals that can be absorbed into the skin. And best of all, more money in your pocket. And if you log on now, you can get free installation. Of course, estimates are also free. Log on to poolschlorinefree.com and find out how your pool can become a mineral bath with copper and silver ions naturally. Call 407-324-3691. That's 407-324-3691 or poolschlorinefree.com. 407-324-3691 and kiss chlorine goodbye forever.
Homeowners, if you like saving money, listen up. Florida insurance specialists just saved a Liberty Mutual customer $1,000 by switching them to St. John's Insurance. Call them at 407-805-0200 or visit challengemyrate.com to get your savings now. Their amazing new technology shops insurance rates with over 30 A-rated companies, so you can start saving almost immediately. With State Farm and Allstate raising home insurance rates up to 40%, now is the time to challenge your rate. Call them at 407-805-0200 or visit challengemyrate.com. Don't limit your ability to save by using a name brand company with only one option. Florida Insurance Specialist is an independent broker who represents 99.9% of home insurance companies in Florida. Go to challengemyrate.com now to save. That's challengemyrate.com. Don't buy or renew your home insurance until you take the challenge. Visit challengemyrate.com to save money now.
The Neil Board Show.
Harriton High School, they have a program where they provide an Apple laptop to all 2,000 students. But you know what the school doesn't tell the kids? we can activate that camera anytime we want to.
You don't even have to be using your laptop.
Neil Bortz, the high priest of the Church of the Painful Truth.
The school had security software on these laptop cameras where they could turn on the camera and watch whatever is going on. You spy on the student in his bedroom with a camera, and the government school says we were only trying to be supportive of the student and his family. Isn't that government for you?
Neil Bortz, weekdays 9 to 1, right after Central Florida's morning news on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Orlando's news radio station, News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
Orlando Luxury Pools by TC Water Features. That's the name you need to remember. Tony Caruso. This is the Pool Fanatics. Every Saturday we get together and we talk pools. And before you know it, you're going to be ringing the phone off the hook here on Saturday night going, well, I'm ready to get my pool ready for summer, and what do I need to do? We're ready for you right here. Now, you came in today and you were singing the praises of glass bead finishes. What in the world are we talking about?
Tumbled glass beads. It's actually not really new. It's been around for a while, but it's making some headway. Here's what we have. We're offering only five people. 5 people. I've already offered it over just through my normal special. We got 5 we're going to offer on the radio today. The first 5 people that call me next week, and if they hire my company to resurface their pool with one of our Aqua Pearl finishes, and they have a pool and spa, I will give you a free upgrade to the glass bead interior finish in your spa.
Whoa,
Rob, that's $1,000. That glass bead upgrade's $1,000 alone. So if I charge you X amount of dollars to your interiors in your spa, I have 5 left. I have 1 and 2, and I have 2 and 1, 2 in one color, 2 in another color, and 1 left in one color. Because what we did is we come up with a promotion just to kind of give back to the community a little bit. Mm-hmm. We have 5 left. We had 12. We sold 7 last week. Didn't even advertise it, just sold 7. So I'm going to offer the last 5. Let's just move them out. We can go on to some new specials.
Now what is a glass bead finish? What are we talking about?
What it is, it's going to be your basic, your cement product bases, your binders that hold it all together. It's going to have stone in there, mini stones. Then it's going to have different color glass beads. In this case, we've got some really dark blues, light blues, medium blues, blacks, greens, golds. You imagine any color you want to. I only have 3 colors I'm offering, by the way. Everything from a really light blue to a really dark blue. It's really pretty stuff. When the light hits it, it's really awesome, and it's smooth. It actually might be smooth in a baby's bottom. It really is smooth.
Is that on your website?
No, I don't offer. But you can go to
you
can go to magic-technologies.com and look at their glass bead finishes on there, and you'll see some of those. But you got a combo. I have 5 left. I'm pretty sure they'll be gone by Tuesday. I sent 2 proposals out Friday. They have the same offerings. If they bite on Monday, which feel pretty good they're going to. They're going to, jump on
how big
that.
an area does this cover?
Well, I'll do a up spa up to 36 square feet, which is 6 by 6.
So the whole the whole thing is done in
the
this.
whole thing is done in that, and it's you know what, it's amazing. I just sold one last week. The pool finish is going to be one color, and the spa is going to be another. And that's not unusual, by the way, to have a different color finish in the pool spa, or your beach or sun shelf to be a different color. So you call us up and tell us you heard us on the radio. Only 5 left for next week. So if you also follow me on Facebook and Twitter, I also have specials there. So if you go on Facebook and Twitter and give us a call, or just say that you heard me on the radio, call my office. We'll tell you what the specials are. We have 3 of them running right now, and they're very attractive.
Okay, the phone number?
407-282-4911. Tina will be there about 7 o'clock, 7:15 Monday morning. We're ready to go. Look, Rob, I get up about 5:30 every morning. I love going to work. I get in about 6:15, do my emails. I'm ready to hit the day, ready to go.
Now, how do we find you on Twitter?
You're asking the wrong person.
I mean,
Nick?
Is it under Pool Fanatics or under Orlando Luxury Pools?
Orlando Luxury Pools.
So it's under Orlando Luxury Pools by TC Water Features.
We've got quite a following. We first started the show, Rob. We had 0.
And you're on Facebook too under Orlando Luxury Pools.
Correct. And
put a little like on that page.
There you go. We had zero people that followed us. Now we're about 500. Just in the swimming pools, and I got some very predominant people in Orlando that follow me too. Some weather people, some newscasters. We've got some law enforcement people. We got some lawyers out there, doctors out there. We've got a good following. Realtors. I'm big time with realtors now. Now's the market. Unemployment's coming down. House sales are going up.
Yeah.
The attitudes here. I mean, it's New Year. Let's go, folks. Let's get it together. Let's bring this economy back, and let's make a big change.
Yeah, what for you developers out there and you realtors, but especially you developers, what's going to make that home that you're selling for 180 or 200? What's going to make that thing sell more than the one down the block? A great water feature, a great pool.
Yeah, quality. And that's what you're going to get from us. You're going to get quality. We have never and never will compromise quality for quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Never. We're never going to do that. So that's why we do what we do. That's why my family business is successful of doing what it's doing. Is because we stand behind it. You know, people offer. Remember that true warranty? We still have. Yeah. We have a real warranty. No, we have a warranty. We don't cut our customers off. You know, treat us like human beings. We'll extend you. We'll get your warranties out there. I'm fighting for you. I want to make you happy, Rob.
Real slow. The phone number one more time.
407-282-4911. Visit us at Orlando Luxury Pools. Amazing things can happen in your backyard.
Now, what can happen in the backyard?
Amazing things can happen.